Yo, what is going on, everybody? Carnage back here again, and just gonna say this right now: Des Moines Comic Con 2025, definitely the best Comic Con I think I've ever been to. Apologies if I look like a mess. It is currently like almost 10 o'clock at night. Just kind of finally got to come home, sit down, do everything like that. But this weekend at Des Moines Comic Con was genuinely one of, if not the greatest experience I've had at any comic convention ever. And I like how it's at the first comic convention I ever went to. Because Des Moines Comic Con is, the state of Iowa's, convention in, the state. Uh, Explaining a little too much with that. But, anyway, uh, it was phenomenal. Picked up some awesome books. Met Charlie Cox and Brandon Ralph. A little more excited about Charlie than Brandon. Don't get me wrong, Brandon, awesome guy, but Charlie, I do have an amazing story which I will save for when I do show some stuff that Charlie signed for me. So, just going to start off right now with the books. Let me just kind of get things organized because I do have a little bit around me. Let me just kind of pull this stuff out real quick. I do kind of have some newer books too from previous weeks in this too. So I do apologize if it's not like fully prepared, but like I said, just finally got back and it's almost 10. So a little tired, I will admit. So yeah. Gonna start off with like the newer weekly stuff. Gonna try to get through these kind of quick. Where did I put the other pile? Oh, they're right in front of me. Anyway, before I get distracted again, starting off with the Avengers. I did get the Impossible Man cover. This is issue 2026. Really enjoying this series. This has been very fun read. Martian Manhunt, absolute Martian Manhunter, I mean. Another, like the artwork is still pretty weird, but very fun. Absolute Wonder Woman number 8. Definitely the best one out of the entire Absolute stuff, in my opinion. Along with this next one, The Flash. Really enjoyed this. Got to learn a little bit more about little monkey dude over here. And that is Grodd in this universe, which baffling to me. Next one up is Ultimate Spider-Man 17. Another fun read. Ooh, this one was a good one. Really enjoying this Eddie Brock Carnage story. Such a tremendous story so far. And I love this cover, too. Just gorgeous. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. Fantastic Four 32. Really curious where this left off after issue 31. For those of you who have been reading the series. But let me just say, very, very good story so far. Whatever his first name is, North. I know his last name is North. I keep forgetting his first name. I think it's Ryan. Ryan North? Excuse me. Daredevil Cold Day in Hell, issue 2. This is a variant. Beautiful looking variant, too, by the way. Yeah. Really, really cool. Really happy about that. Ultimates number 12. Really, really good story with this one, too. Really dug that. And then, those were all the ones I did read from the stuff I got. Up next, I have issue 19 of Spider-Boy. Haven't read the last issue of that, but Spider-Boy is still one of my favorite ones to read. Next up is The Incredible Hulk, issue 25. Yep, really curious about this one just because, he's fighting Thor in this, and, well, I haven't read the previous Thor series in a while because I kind of stopped reading it because it kind of fell off, in my opinion. Iron Man, excuse me, Iron Man issue 8, another one I've been enjoying quite a bit. And then I did get a couple of the Alex Ross covers. The first one up is Firestar. I believe that's Firestar anyway. It looks a lot like Firestar to me from the West Coast Avengers series. Quicksilver from the Scarlet Witch and Vision comic that just came out with Scarlet Witch and the White Vision. And then, excuse me. And then the last book is Moon Knight, Fist of Khonshu, number 8. And this one I was the most excited about. This one, beautiful looking book. And that was all the new weekly stuff that I got. But I did get quite a few, and I do mean quite a few. And I should mention, most of these are dollar books. There are a couple that I will show closer to the end that were more than $1. And by more, I mean a lot more. So, starting off with this first book, this is a book I've actually been trying to find forever, but I never see it anywhere. This is Venomized, issue number 4. This is from a series I really enjoyed reading when it came out. I got issue 1, 2, 3, and 5. Missed out on number 4. Have not been able to find it anywhere. And I didn't feel like trying to find it on eBay, just because it's kind of a book that's not really worth to find on eBay. Next up is Spider-Man vs. Deadpool, number 36. This is when you see the future version of Deadpool and Spider-Man as old guys, which, pretty funny. Deadpool, number 19. I'm also trying to, get all the Deadpool books as well, just because Deadpool is one of my favorites. Along with this series, Old Man Logan, number 48. Ironically, the only Old Man Logan book I saw in any dollar bin. And none of these are in order, by the way, I should mention that. This is Deadpool, number 6. Really cool. Definitely trying to get that Deadpool run complete as well. This is Wolverine, number 119. It is a little rusty right there on that staple, but I mean, other than that, it might be a little more damaged than I thought it was, but hey, it was only $1, so I'm not going to complain. And then Ultimate Spider-Man number 157, I believe. Yeah, 157. 158. And then the coolest cover I found for Ultimate Spider-Man, this is issue 128. And I don't know if that's Venom or not, but that is just nasty looking, and I love how that looks. And I also did get quite a bit, and I repeat, quite a bit of books, because I still have a lot. And all of these were like dollar books. This next one up was also $1, and I'll get to it when I get to it. I actually have part 1 of this. This is X-Men Fantastic Four, issue number 1. This is the point of view from the X-Men. I read the Fantastic Four one a while ago. I enjoyed that one. And, finally got this one, so kind of curious what happens in that. Excuse me, what happens in that. This next one up originally was just a blank, variant cover that, my friend's an artist, and I was kind of like, hey, this is for you, because I know he likes, or, he at least has quite a bit of, repertoire of, blank covers that he does for people. And I was thinking, oh, this is $1, I'll just give this to him. No, he surprised me and did it, and did Pimp Pool. And he did do Spider-Man smoking in the back. That's kind of, I really like that. That was cool. And this was a very welcome surprise, because I did not expect this at all. Shout out to my friend, Gabe Perez. I know it's kind of backwards, but fantastic guy. Is in charge of Tri-City Comic-Con, which is in Grand Island, Nebraska. So I only went there once, but very good show. Really enjoyed it. Enjoyed it immensely. Also, I do apologize if my voice is kind of a little ass sounding. Epic Rap Battles of History did show up to Des Moines Comic-Con, and let me just say, they put on an amazing show, and I do mean that. Like, best thing ever, dude. So fun. They were so interactive with the crowd, too. It was just a surreal experience, and I would love to see them again at some point. Just so fun. This next book was also in that dollar bin. This one is kind of a little messed up. It does have a I don't know which page it is, but it's detached. And I mean, other than that, like, I mean, it's still a pretty cool book. This is X-Men and the Teen Titans, and I know this is like a decently good book, and it did have like a fold out in it. That one did not, but you know, still pretty cool. Again, I apologize for my voice. This next one up, I mostly picked up just because I really like the Marvel Legend of this character. This is issue number 1 of The Son of Satan, also a $1 book. And I know I saw this at someone else's booth for like $30, so I mean, I got mine for $1, and I mean, it's not in fantastic condition, but I mean, you know, still looks pretty cool. And then these next 4 issues are part of the same miniseries. And it's a very cool miniseries, just because it introduces a couple very, you know, cool X-Men, you know, characters. And that is the Longshot miniseries. So this issue right here is actually the first appearance of Longshot. I then found issue number 3 of Longshot. Issue number 4? Yeah, issue 4, and then issue 5. So I almost got the entirety of the Longshot story for like $1 a piece each book, which is phenomenal. Because I know, I think if you have all of them, it's like $100, you know, series, which I mean, still baffling that I found any of those. And they're, I believe they were all newsstand. Yeah, they're all newsstand editions too, which is, you know, really cool. And then this little stack right here, I believe is just all of the same, you know, not the same book, but the same series. So, I'm a huge fan of this team, as most of you may know. That is Exiles. I didn't remember if I had issue number 2 or not, but I looked it up on the app I use after the fact, and I do have an issue 2, but, you know, I think this one's definitely in a little better condition than mine, so just happy little upgrade, again, for $1. Found issue number 3, and I'm not gonna lie, they had a huge, and I'm not joking, a huge chunk of this series, to the point where I was very, very tempted to get all of them, but I did not want to spend $30, because I found it at the exact last day, and that was today. So, kind of limited myself on what I got, but I did find have these two switched around, issue 31, which is a part 1 of, yeah, Avengers Forever. I also found part 2 to that same series, Avengers Forever part 2, issue 32. Skip ahead a little bit, here is issue 51. Really cool cover, by the way. Excuse me. I should mention my allergies are also kind of kicking my butt a little bit, so apologies. And then here is issue number 81. Yeah, 81. And then 82, and they kind of go together, which I love that about, you know, some of these series, or, you know, book covers where they just kind of, you know, mash together, which, very cool, really enjoyed that. And then these last 2 books are actually the only 2 Invincible books I picked up. Like, I saw a lot of Invincible books, but some of them were like $30 to $40 a piece, which I did not really feel like spending. Not because of the fact that, you know, like, some of them aren't even keys that were like that price. So I didn't really feel the need to spend that much on them. But this one I did see kind of at least a little bit of a reason to spend this much. Granted, I could have probably asked for a better deal on it, but I didn't think about it. I was just more like, oh my gosh, finally, because I actually almost won this book on an auction, but, you know, it went up to like $80, I think, and I just couldn't bring myself to do that on eBay. So, but I found issue 62 of Invincible, and this is part 2 of the Conquest fight. Now, I did get issue number 61 at Kansas City Comic Con about 2-3 months ago, and, you know, let me just say, I'm so happy I got this one. And I'm almost done with like the, little tiny conquest arc. Just need 63 and 64, I believe. If I'm not mistaken, I might be wrong though. And I'm not gonna lie, this book is a little beat up and not super fantastic condition, but I mean, the earlier ones by, companies not Marvel or DC were not treated with as much respect, but, I actually talked the guy down from the original price down to a better price, which I'll mention in a second. But I got, and this is a cool one, this is issue number 8 of Invincible. This is now officially the earliest Invincible book I have. I am so beyond thankful for that. And also it's signed by Cory Walker too, which I didn't even really pay attention to. I was just more thinking, oh my gosh, this is the earliest Invincible book I've, seen for less than $100. Because, I mean, at most of the conventions I went to, they were like over $100. But this one was not, and let me just say, it was so grateful to finally meet it, or get it. And it's just such a, so cool, man. So very happy. I really am. And this is also the first Damien Darkblood, too. And, they didn't really get to do what they wanted to with him in the show, I know. So, and I know they finally, or in the comic, so they're going to be doing that in the show. So, kind of excited for that, because I feel like once that happens, this one's going to go up in price by a lot. Apologies again for my throat. Now, going to go on to kind of the more miscellaneous stuff before I get to the Charlie stuff. First thing I'm going to show up is this poster that my friend, he's an artist, very cool guy, again, same guy who did the Deadpool book, Gabe Perez, shout out to him, and he also did write on it too, Go Fuck Yourself, which, he does that quite a bit to me, which, it's great, man. He's an awesome dude. I do recommend, checking him out. I do not have one of his business cards on me. Sadly, I should probably grab one next time I see it. But, we'll do that eventually. Alright, trying to decide what I want to do next. Before I get to the actual action figures, I did find this cool little thing. This was like $12, and let me just say, $12 well spent in my opinion. It's a little Snoop Dogg Elf on the Shelf. It makes no sense why I own this. I don't even really like or listen to Snoop Dogg's music. Snoop Dogg's just a chill dude, man. Like, I mean, so cool. So cool. And it's going to be a very fun, Christmas decoration. And next up, I'm going to show the minifigures that I found, because there were a lot of custom minifigures there. So these were actually the last two I picked up. I found a U.S. agent, which, let me just say, I love U.S. agent so much in that movie. He was so fun, and, just all around just a cool character. And this one, I was super surprised to see, because I didn't expect, anyone to make anything like this. But I found a Scarlet Spider minifigure. And then up next, I do have 4 more minifigures. Whoops. Have a little extra stuff in there from a Marvel Legend I picked up, but not going to show that quite yet. The first one I'm going to show is this. This is Zombie Deadpool. And Deadpool's just one of my favorite characters, and especially Zombie Deadpool. Just another cool one. Anyway, sorry about that. Something cool about this is he comes with a masked head that kind of looks like this head. So that was pretty awesome to find. So pretty cool. I also did, actually I'll show that one last, because that one's kind of cool. I did find these two, and you can't get one without the other. Gambit, and Rogue. And I really do love these Gambit accessories. So cool. And then the last one I got, which definitely my favorite one, just because, you know, after actually getting to meet him, it was just so cool. This is a mini Netflix Daredevil, which such a badass thing, man. Really cool. Really, really happy to have that. Alright, that's all the minifigures I got. Now on to the Marvel action figures. And I'm saying action figures because they weren't all Marvel Legends this time. Now, I'm going to start off with the one that is not a Marvel Legend. This is actually a knockoff / original thing. This is Helverine. And I did open it up already. But this is a CT Toys action figure. They do a lot of, what's it called? Like, they do a lot of knockoffs of Mafex figures, and let me just say, that's a pretty cool, like, original thing that they copied, I guess, because no one else has done a Helverine like that. The only one who has done a Helverine is Hasbro, and, you know, they, you know, haven't really, no one else has really done that before, so that was interesting. This one actually wasn't from the convention. I found this at a GameStop in the city where the convention was, in Des Moines. And it was the Rider's Wave Ghost Rider. And this is, or not the Rider's Wave, the 85 years Ghost Rider. Which, so happy to have this. Especially, you know, having a Ghost Rider with a bike. Like, so badass, dude. So very grateful and happy to find it. And then I did get 3 Marvel Legends at the show. Nothing super crazy. I got Legion. Going to be planning to use him for a custom. Just because, you know, like originally I was going to use this as a prison mark. But this one's definitely going to be way better to use for a prison mark than this one. I just need to figure out how to, you know, open the body without breaking the body. So hopefully I can figure out some way to do that. Because I do kind of want to, you know, give him like the sleeves, because I know he does have sleeves that go down to like right about there. And I can just, like, I already have quite a bit of ideas for this, so stay tuned. And this one I might turn into like, what's it called? Coalition of Planets mark. But, you know, might change, might not. And then this was actually the first Marvel Legend I picked up at the show. Ironically, picked him up before I found the books. This is Longshot. I think this was actually the first or second thing I picked up at the show, which, very happy to have him. He was part of the Retro Wave, and I've been seeing him quite a bit, and I was, you know, I have the Toy Biz one, but, you know, thought this one looked pretty cool too, so. And then the last figure before I get into my Daredevil story, or Charlie Cox story, I mean, was Giant Man. This is from the Ultron Wave, and I do not have a Giant Man in my collection. I have an Ant-Man, but I didn't have a Giant Man. So, very happy to finally have a Giant Man in the collection. And just for context, Charlie Cox is the one who wanted to do this. Like, I mean, but anyway, let me just show you. Like, it started off with me wanting to get, you know, his autograph and, you know, meeting him. So, I had him sign this book right there, and I don't know if you guys can really see that, but I mean, like, he says his pen exploded on it, and only thing I can really see is right up there is a little iffy. But I mean, other than that, like, I mean, I see nothing wrong with it other than, you know, just the fact that the D is kind of a little, like, weird. But I mean, I was perfectly fine with it. And then, like, gosh, maybe like 20 minutes later, the guy who's in charge of the show tries to find me. And his name is Joe. Joe goes out, finds me and my friend, because my friend was with me too. Funny thing is, I introduced my friend as Foggy Nelson Jr. because he kind of looks a little bit like Foggy Nelson in the show. Anyway, Joe comes, like, searches the floor for me, and, you know, is like, hey, Charlie Cox says his marker kind of exploded on your thing. And I was like, oh, I mean, it might have. I mean, it doesn't look bad to me. And I even showed, you know, Joe the cover, and he's like, oh, okay. But, you know, I don't know what Charlie thinks he messed up, but I mean, in my personal opinion, he did not mess it up. And also, fun fact, he also really loves this cover too, which I didn't know. I was just like, oh, this is just a really badass Daredevil cover. And, you know, would be really awesome to get him to sign it. And I should mention, I was one of the, gosh, like first 7 people in line. So it was just so cool meeting him. And I was actually the first person to use silver that day. So maybe that's why the marker malfunctioned or whatever the hell happened. Anyway, I also had a picture with Charlie later in that day with me, my friend Owen, and my friend Gabe, the artist, who I've mentioned a handful of times. And, you know, I'm waiting in line to go get my picture with Charlie. It's then my turn to get the picture with Charlie. Earlier in the week, like on Friday, I think, maybe even the day before, or not the day before, maybe the day of, if not the day before, I drew a little shitty Daredevil for Gabe, because Gabe really likes Daredevil, and he had me watching his booth while he was, you know, doing whatever it was he was doing at the time. And I purposely made it as shitty as possible, just so Gabe, you know, would get a little laugh out of it. But, you know, Gabe then brings it and gives it to me and says, hey, give this to Charlie. And it's the little picture that I drew. And I was like, okay. And I was kind of going to say, hey, Charlie, this is a thank you for, you know, checking up on the book. And then, you know, as soon as I hand it to him and he looks at me, he's like, oh, yes. When we get done here, go over to my booth. I'll be there as soon as I can. Go to my, I think he said assistant, and she'll kind of, you know, do whatever. I don't fully remember what he said because I'm still kind of awestruck that he, you know, remembered me specifically and my book. And yeah, after we got our picture taken, which fun experience, by the way. We had the Defenders duo pick with Mike Coulter, who I met at Kansas City Comic-Con a few months ago. And yeah, where was I going with this? Brain fart. We get done with the picture. We then go wait, because my friend Gabe was gonna give Charlie one of the, because he drew a Daredevil drawing, and it's personally not my favorite one, but I mean, you know, it's one of Gabe's favorites. He brought 2 of them. Don't fully know why. I think he wanted to get one, you know, wanted to give him both of them, I believe, but, you know, anyway, getting sidetracked. I then go wait by Charlie's desk, or, you know, table, and then his assistant, you know, whips me over, goes like this, motioning me to go to the other end, and then, like Charlie's security guard, just motions me forward. My friend Gabe hands me his 2 pictures, and my friend Owen, who, by the way, this is his first convention, so he was just kind of following me for most of the time. He follows me up to the front of the line. You know, we don't go to like the front of the line, but, you know, end of the front row. Best way I can really say it. Which was really cool. Really, really awesome experience. Getting, you know, basically special treatment from Daredevil himself. All because he felt bad about, you know, how his signature looked on this, which, like I said, I was perfectly fine with this. But he was such a genuinely nice guy, and I mean that. Like, Charlie Cox is, like, out of the handful of actors I've met, definitely the sweetest, nicest guy I think I've ever met in my entire life. Like, so cool. Anyway, you know, I get put in line, and then, you know, I get to Charlie. And he's like, tell you what, because I feel bad about how I messed up, or, you know, something along those lines. You and your friend here can go get, uh, each get one 8x10 for free. And I was like, really? And he's like, yeah, go ahead. And I was just kind of surprised and awestruck about this. And I was just kind of like, what the fuck is going on? Because I did not know how to fucking react. I was fucking just kind of like, I wasn't coughing, but, you know. But yeah, so then I then go up to Charlie Cox. He apologizes again for quote unquote ruining my book, which, I mean, this isn't even an expensive book. I found it for like $3 or $4. So I wasn't mad about that. I mean, like, this was just, and the picture frame is a little dirty, but I wanted to, you know, see what it looked like in this. But he then, this is the 8x10 I picked, and as you can see, he even, you know, did that. And this was free, by the way. Like, I got this for free, my friend got one for free, and then Charlie did another signature on one of my friend's Daredevil pictures, that all for free. And like, I paid $150 to get this one singular book signed, and that $150 got me 4 autographs, basically. Well, 2 for me. I didn't even fucking realize this. I have 2 Charlie Cox signatures. God damn, that's cool. But I got this one, that one, my friend Owens, and my friend Gabe got one too. Like, it was just such a surreal experience. You can even see me in the camera right there. And I think that's actually facing forward. It's kind of funny. But genuinely, Charlie Cox is the nicest guy I think I've ever met. Ever. Like, he was so sweet. He was so, like, he felt so bad about it. And I was just kind of like, oh, it's perfectly fine. I'm okay with it. But no, he definitely, and I repeat, definitely just fucking pushed Chris Evans out of the way as my favorite Marvel character. Like, Charlie Cox, man, like, such a sweet dude, man. And I know I'm probably gonna clickbait this title, being like, you know, Des Moines Comic-Con Hall plus Charlie Cox story. And let me just say, oh shoot, I just realized I had more books right next to me that I didn't even go through. And like, that's not kind of how I want to end this, but I mean, I don't really want to reshoot this just because, you know, it's already, gosh, it's almost 10:30, man. But I'll just kind of go through these quick. Deadpool book, who cares? Another Deadpool book. This is Deadpool number 3. And I know this is this dude's first appearance. I don't remember what his name is. Deadpool number 7. Dark Avengers number 1. This was a dollar bin book. One of the greatest, NRP greatest Deadpool stories of all time, by Jeffrey Dugan. Deadpool number 20, where Deadpool basically stops a girl from committing suicide. Moon Knight number 188. I don't know what the significance of that is. I just know it's a key book. I thought this one just looked cool. This is Planet Hulk, The Incredible Hulk, issue 100, part 1 of 4 of Allegiance. Deadpool Spider-Man, issue number 9. Slowly building out that Spider-Man Deadpool run. This is issue number 6 from that same run. And then this is the last one I got for the Deadpool series. This is issue number 21. Oh, so this is the issue right after the Suicide one. Pretty cool. And I don't know why this one's in such a, like, highly, you know, compact one. It's kind of weird, but, you know, whatever. But, yeah. Anyway, I apologize for not putting those sooner, guys. But, yeah. Like I said, Charlie Cox, man, like, I mean, so nice, man. And, like, I went back to him one more time just before he left, when his line was, like, basically empty, just to, you know, say thank you again. And, like, I found another one of these Daredevil minifigures, and, you know, I was like, hey, thank you again for what you did. I really appreciate it. He's like, yeah, no problem, Austin. And I was like, I mean, I didn't say it, but I was more thinking, oh my God, he remembered my name, which I mean, I'd seen him like 3 times that day. So, I mean, he probably, kind of remembers it. And kind of curious if he'll remember me if I ever see him again. But yeah, and then later that night, I was at a hotel that was hooked up to the Des Moines, or what is it, Iowa Event Center, I think it's called. Might be wrong about that name, but it's basically the event center in Des Moines. And like, I'm just chilling in the lobby bar. I'm not drinking or anything. I'm just hanging out with, my friends that were there. And then I just, see Charlie Cox walking through the front door. I'm like, because, this is like the 5th time I've seen the dude today. And, dude, he's just a regular dude, man. Like, he's just so cool. But anyway, such a surreal experience, dude. And I know this video is like long as shit. And I know most of you probably didn't even care to watch most of this. Anyway, sorry about that. But anyway, such an amazing weekend. Very happy with it. And yeah, that's basically everything I have for you guys today. Don't really know how to finish it off other than Charlie Cox is the most amazing man I've ever met in my life, and I genuinely do mean that. Such a sweet guy, and I hope to meet him again at some point, see if he remembers me. Probably won't, but I mean, if he does, that would be hella sick, dude. And I mean that, like, hella sick. But yeah, thank you guys for watching, and I will catch you in the next video. I love you all, and I'll catch you later. Peace.